Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of UnrealEntGaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the dominoes and you're laughing. Do you realize the f***ing crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
Oh, how I feared that something like this would happen, especially after having a feeling that something like this was going to rear its ugly head upon having those Dark Masters wield access to the Super Dragon Balls. But whilst there is no more time for us to wait around for things to get worse, I must hurry and go and protect what Zalama had given me before they are to find out on what it is that I have possession of.
Our story now continues following the initial events of Raijin using his power to converge and merge together the multiverse alongside with the demon realm, as with both Whis and Zalama having to now take a minute in gazing up into the heavens and noticing this sudden and massive change occur was when Whis went on to then quickly respond, "Now wait a second there, Zalama, are you seeing as to what I'm seeing that is taking place up there above us? For the multiverse itself, as it would only appear as though something has happened, because if I had to go and assume," Whis continues, "then I would only go as far as to say that something has taken place if it wasn't already caused by the Super Dragon Balls that has now resulted in this multiversal entanglement. But how?" With Zalama responding, "I'm afraid that it would only now appear as though that the demon realm has seeped into every corner of the multiverse, tainting its essence, as the balance that we worked so hard to preserve appears to have now been completely shattered and replaced by this horrifying amalgamation," Zalama continues, "and as this is no coincidence, for this must be the work of that demon god and his dark masters, and as they have somehow gone far beyond what I ever could have expected, and as they have also somehow found a way to go and use their power to go and capture the multiverse and turning it into a vast network of darkness, but we must hurry and go and act swiftly, or else this new dark order will become irreversible, which was why I was able to now go and find them," Zalama says, "and as I will need for you to go and hurry and use your powers to do as I say and open a portal into the following time chamber, Whis, for I will go on to use the full extent of my power to not only reduce the Super Dragon Balls in size in order to transfer them on over into this dimension," Zalama continues, "but as I do, we will need to go on and quickly move them somewhere else, otherwise our location will be fully compromised," with Whis responding, "Right then, and so I will now go and do what I must, so tell me when and I will go and use my powers to open a single-way portal into whichever time chamber you point me within, Zalama." "Good, very good, Whis, and so now use your powers and open a single-way portal into time chamber room number 767B," Zalama says, "and as for the time being, I will need for you to go and hold this position, as I will first need to break the chains that bind them together if I am able to bring them back into this world, and as I will only need but a few moments to do this," as Whis went on to then quickly respond, "Yes, there, I see them, for it also doesn't appear as though those demons are anywhere in sight for them to go and get within our way either," Whis says, "and so it looks as though the coast is clear, but even if that is the case and with no one in sight to stop us from having to take them back, shall we go ahead now and break these chains and pull them back now?" With Zalama responding, "Yes, for if they are not being guarded, then that must mean that those Dark Masters must be preoccupied at the moment, and so we cannot go and afford to waste any more time than to go and make our move now, and so now let us begin by breaking those chains in which bind them, and as I will need for you to go and be on standby, Whis, with Whis responding, yes, and just in case we are to go and be attacked while we do this, I will stand by your side in fighting them off if they try, for the laws in which we uphold have already been broken when they went and seized the Omni Kings anyways, as Zalama went on to then continue, thank you, Whis, and now let's go and begin with this, for this will require far more power than I had anticipated, but now then, let the chains of darkness fall upon my command so that I may retrieve my creations without any pushback, for my Super Dragon Balls shall be liberated. Steady now, as I don't want to go and crack the Super Dragon Balls in the process, and so now there, for they are freed, Zalama shouts. Wonderful, and so now whatever you do under any circumstance, do not close that portal until I go and give you the word to do so, Whis. As there, for they are now fully stabilized, and so all that is left for us to go and do, Zalama says, is to now go and pull them out one by one before we are to be detected by anyone in the meantime, as this will only take but a moment, and so now stand by and keep that portal open, Whis. To which it was all the while in the meantime as this was shown happening, as the Dark Masters were then shown having to make their way back inside of the time chamber, was when Toro went on to then quickly respond, good, very good, and now that everything is going exactly to our liking and according to our plan, our next batch of wishes shall be to go and alter our power and raising our battle strength to new heights as we later wait. What's going on? As Gira went on to then also chime in by responding, wait, look up there, is that what I think it is? For it's a portal, but that can't be. But how were they able to go and find the Super Dragon Balls when we made sure to keep them within a very distant location? With Toro responding, no, and with the chains that were shown binding them now broken, they are now free to be tampered with or worse. But where in the world is the Leviathan that was supposed to go and guard them? As Bakar went on to then chime in, well, it may only appear as though he had returned back into the demon realm to go and honor and be within Lord Raijin's presence, but look, the Dragon Balls, they're being taken, as all four Dark Masters then went on to then charge towards the portal, as Toro went on to then shout, oh, hurry now, for we cannot go and afford to have these little worms regain control over those orbs, no matter what the cost may be. Wait, Lord Toro, don't, Jogo went on to then quickly chime in, for we do not have an idea as to who it is that lies on the other side, as whoever this may be has already taken them from our control. No, damn it, no, Toro shouts, for we were so close, and so how could we have allowed for this to go and happen? Well then, what are we to go and do? Gira then went on to quickly question, should we hurry and go after them, or shall we go and gather our elites and order for them to go and attack instead? As Toro went on to then respond, never mind the formality, for we must go and inform Lord Raijin that the Super Dragon Balls have been located and taken from us immediately, as we cannot afford to go and have our efforts go and be undone by them, and so we must get a move on and go back to him right now. Almost there, and yes, for we have done it, as their corruption has not taken roots, but we are far from safe, Zalama went on to then continue, as this very location is too vulnerable for us to go and keep them here, and so we cannot go and leave them here to be exposed to further threats, for we must go on to make haste and move these Super Dragon Balls immediately, and that since we cannot go and keep them here with us unless we warrant an attack to go and be made, there is only but one other place that I can think of that these demons would never go and dare cross over into, Zalama continues, for their magnitude is far too great and their potential far too dangerous to be allowed to go and be used again the way they were, and because of this, I will hereby go on to transfer these on over into the Omni King's homeworld, for the demon realm fears the Omni King's presence, and because of that, their very essence alone will deter any attempt to go and breach that sacred domain, even if they are all currently bound. And so while that barrier that binds them is still active, placing the Super Dragon Balls inside of that barrier that surrounds the Omni King's palace is the only way to ensure their protection, as while that barrier that covers their world is impenetrable to all but the Omni Kings themselves, Zalama continues, even the most cunning gang of demons would not go and dare to approach them unless they weren't the Omni Kings and having to go and find them. And so now for the time being, our victory is fragile, as the slightest lapse in vigilance could cost us dearly if they are taken from their homeworld and back inside of another existing time chamber, Zalama continues, which is exactly why I had went and placed them where I did, because it is our only chance to ensure that nothing were to happen to them, with Whis responding, yes, but of course, now I see, so only the Omni Kings themselves would be able to go and use them if they are to spot them from within, which was exactly why you had went and placed them there when you did, isn't that right, Zalama? With Zalama responding, assuming that they are okay, but that is precisely what makes this the safest place for the Super Dragon Balls in being for the time remaining, and as only the Omni Kings themselves can go and have access to them, so for the time being, while we are here, we must go and try to hurry in. But then, it was only from within that very moment now, from out of nowhere, before Zalama could even go as far as to finish his sentence, where Zalama's body was now beginning to go and freeze up on him, as Zalama then went on to continue. Wait a second, what is this sudden and strange feeling that I'm getting, and why do I feel as though my body is being held within its current place like this? Wait, no, could this really be on what I think that it is? For it must be. As it was only within that very moment behind Zalama, as a portal then began to open and having to pull him through, was when Zalama then went on to continue. No, for they have found us, but how are they able to go and sense our presence this quickly? Unless they must have went and followed the trail of the Super Dragon Balls, and seeing that they ended up here. Curse them, as I cannot go and allow for them to gain access to either the Super Dragon Balls or the cube that I possess, and as thus I am hereby now left with no other choice than to go and do what I must for the sake of the multiverse's protection, and so I'll need to go and act fast. Whis, I need for you to go and hurry and listen to me, as there is no time for me to explain everything to you, Zalama continues, but I will need for you to go and take this configuration cube and guard it with your life, for this configuration cube is one of 3 pieces of an ancient puzzle, and as when assembled together they are but a key that unlocks a gateway into a forbidden realm that only the Omni Kings have access to, and if all 3 configuration cubes are went and gathered together and used by them, then the consequences behind their actions in having to use this will be unimaginable, Zalama continues, and as you cannot go and allow for this to happen, and thus whatever happens to me, this cube must not go and fall into the wrong hands, Whis, for you are the only one that I trust to go and keep it safe, as you are the only one who is also capable of protecting it from what it is that's coming, and so now hurry and take it, Zalama shouts, and so do not allow for this to go and fall within the wrong hands while I am being pulled into this unknown dimension, Zalama continues, and if something were to go and happen to me, then remember this, Whis, for the Super Dragon Balls will remain active for only 24 Earth hours after my demise, if I am to be destroyed in the meantime, and so, because of my lifeline link to the Super Dragon Balls, if we fail to go and act quickly, then their powers will fade, and as they will ultimately be turned to stone forever if we fail, and so do not let this be their end, as time is of the essence, and so if anything were to go and happen to me, then I will need for you to go and ensure that nothing happens to the Super Dragon Balls along with this configuration cube, for we must not allow for these demons to go and gain access to either of them, Zalama continues, unless we were to go and warrant the end of everything in the multiverse as we know it. And so now go and hurry back into your universe and warn the others, for we must go and find a way to go and shatter through that barrier that binds the Omni Kings, and as we must go on and use the Super Dragon Balls to go and undo the damage that has already been done, Whis, and so now go and hurry and take your leave now. Oh no, Lord Zalama, please allow for me to go and help you, as we cannot risk in having to lose you as well, and so please hang on, for I will go and gather the others and will come back for your aid, and so please try to stay with us, with Zalama having to then quickly respond, don't worry about me, and just go and do what you must in order to ensure ensure the survival of the multiverse instead. And so now go and hurry before the same thing happens to you. But then, it was only just upon with Zalama now being shown having to arrive on the other side and noticing a significant change having to occur with his body was when Zalama then went on to quickly respond, What is happening to my body? For how has my sheer size and body been reduced down to scale like this? And more importantly is, what is this place? This realm and this energy that I'm sensing? For can this actually and truly be the demon realm? To which, as Zalama was then shown having to turn and noticing Raijin sitting at his throne, was when Raijin went on to quickly respond, Ah yes, the great creator of the all-powerful and all-infinite Super Dragon Ball Zalama. Oh, how long I've waited to finally come to meet you face to face like this, for you seem to be a bit confused by where you are, Raijin continues, and so allow for me to inform you, for I welcome you into the demon realm, where not only does your so-called divinity and influence mean nothing, but in case you were also just so happen to have been wondering as to why I have brought you here, then the answer is quite simple. For your reputation precedes you, as does your audacity to go and take the Super Dragon Balls back within your domain. But tell me something, Zalama, how does it feel to be dragged into the very heart of the demon realm? Does it frighten you to know that not even your divine magic and powers will be enough to save you from what is coming? And as you are very bold, Zalama, I will go and give you that, but boldness alone will not be enough to stand against what I have become, Raijin says. And it's because I know that it was you who had went and taken the Super Dragon Balls back and away from the hands of the Dark Masters. That's not the only thing that I'm currently aware of either, because outside of the Super Dragon Balls themselves, I know that you have one of the 3 ancient configuration cubes, and if you value what remains of your miserable existence, then I would advise for you to go and hand it over to me now, or you will suffer the consequences behind your secretive actions here against me. And while you may go on to pretend to not know what it is that I'm talking about, don't try denying it, for I can feel its connecting energy to you, Raijin says, even though it appears extremely faint, and it is still very much undeniable, as the configuration cubes are the key in completing my ultimate plan, and as you are merely just a stepping stone in having me reach the first one. And so now surrender it on over to me now, and perhaps maybe I will go on to grant you the mercy of a swift and painless end if you do. However, if you just so happen to go and choose to resist me, then I will peel the secrets from your very soul piece by piece until I have it. For the 3 configuration cubes are but a piece of a much larger puzzle that will reshape existence itself, and as you will go on to go and give it to me whether you wish to hand over its location on over or not. And so now do not go and confuse yourself while you are here either, because you are not the only entity among the very few who had heard about the rumors of the Omniverse, Zalama. And so now where is the first of the cubes? As a shocked Zalama went on to then address Raijin by responding, It's you, the original ruler and first ever crowned god of the demon realm, but what is this unbelievable power that I am sensing that is coursing through you, Zalama questions? For this isn't something that I have ever felt come from a demon like you before, but how exactly is it that you know about the configuration cubes along with the rumors of the Omniverse's existence? As only the Grand Minister along with the Omni Kings are to be in the know of such secrets, and so what do you intend on doing by gathering these cubes for, Zalama continues? Because if you are looking for me to go and give you the answers as to where the first of these configuration cubes lies, then I cannot go on to tell you, for I do not know on where it is, nor do I know on what has been done with it, Zalama continues. And so now dragging me into the demon realm along with going as far as to reduce my size and stature down to your own won't help you, and that is simply because if you are truly going as far as to look for these cubes, then they are more than likely going to be in Lord Zeno's palace with them and not with me, Zalama says. But now go and tell me as to how you know about their power and what exactly is it that you intend by going and gathering them all together, Zalama questions. And what's even more alarming is what did you go on to do with the rest of the multiverse that has went and thrown them off balance like this, with Raijin responding, Oh, how I've longed to come face face to face with the creator of the Super Dragon Balls, especially during my time before I was locked away by that wretched angel Murno. But now that I have acquired his strength and merged it within my own, what I intend on doing and using those configuration cubes for is none of your concerns, Zalama. For my quest to achieve the very heights of supremacy have only now brought me over into crossing paths with you, and since you appear to be playing dumb with me, I just want you to go and understand that I am not someone whom you want to go and try to play games with here either, Zalama, because without the aid of the Grand Minister or either of those Omni Kings, you are now left all alone here with no one that is coming to save you. And while I will go and carry on with the Super Dragon Balls by getting them back myself once we are done here, Raijin continues, first I want for you to go and tell me on where that configuration cube is that you are hiding from me, because I know that you have it, and even though it may not be within your persons at the moment, I can smell its scent that is radiating from your flesh, and so now where is it? As I do not intend to have you waste my time by lying, and so you better start talking, Raijin continues upon being shown having to raise his index finger, as since I'm already starting to go and lose my patience with you and knowing of what it is that you are trying to do here, then allow for me to go and give you a reminder of the very power that you are choosing to stand across against here, Zalama, for you are by no means in any position to be asking any questions here, because even though you were able to go and take the Super Dragon Balls away from me, and at least for the time being, it'll only be a matter of time before they are mine again, and with them, I will go on to use them to forge my own set of Super Dragon Balls, one that are outside of your ability to control, and as I will go on to take what I desire, create what I envision, and I will destroy all those who oppose me, creator. And so now do not go on to assume that lying to me like this will pardon you from my wrath here either, Zalama. Raijin continues upon being shown dragging Zalama's body across the ground, and then since I know that you are trying to buy as much time as you can to try and talk your way out of not giving me what I demand from you, I will not tolerate this for much longer, and so let this be but a warning to you, because while I know and understand that you are quite powerful in your own unique ways that allows for you to stand out amongst many of the rest, I also just so happen to know that you are not a fighter, Zalama, and so now do not go and try to push your luck here into pretending to be one, because this itself will not help your cause when you can go and cough up what I want from you instead, so that way we can go and make this far less painful for you. And so enough of these excuses, Zalama, as your pathetic attempts to stall for time only go on to further insult my intelligence, for every second that you waste will only go on to seal your fate even further, so the configuration cube, Zalama, tell me on where it is or I will go on to tear the answers from your very essence if you don't. As whatever tricks you may go and try, and no matter what lies you attempt to throw my direction, understand that it will not save you. And that is only simply because, unlike how it was before, I will not be so foolish as to allow myself to be stopped like how I was by any of you ever again. So do not make this any worse for yourself than how it already is, and so now I will ask you once again, for now you are starting to annoy me by attempting to play dumb, Zalama. So now where is the configuration cube that I seek, Raijin questions? Because while I know for a fact that Mechi Kabura has one of them who I will soon go and pay a visit to once I am done here, I also just so happen to know for a fact that you house another, and so now you will go and tell me on where it is and hand it over to me right now, and that is simply because if you don't, then I will ensure that you will go on to experience a pain the likes of which you have never experienced in your life before, Zalama, and with the fallen angel's power that is coursing through my veins alongside my own, Raijin continues, you could never hope to go and destroy me even if you tried your very best, so we could either go and do this the easy way, or I could simply go on to make this extremely painful for you if it means giving me what I want, because while the Super Dragon Balls will be collected after the fact, fact. First I want those cubes and then I will have those Dragon Balls again, and so I will ask you again, and possibly for the very last time that I do, where exactly is it that you are hiding that configuration cube? Because if I can't appear to sense it on you now, then you more than likely had done something with it, and I want to know on what it was that you went and did, with Zalama responding, "You are a fool to think that you will go unchallenged throughout this search of yours, and while we may not yet be within a winning position in having us stand against you within the moment, mark my words, demon, for your time is coming, and when it does, you will only have but yourself to blame for what ends up taking place, for you will never gain access into assembling all 3 configuration cubes if you find them, because the very moment the Grand Minister, along with the Omni Kings, find out about what it was that you had done, then they are going to punish you in ways that will far exceed your wildest imagination, demon. And so now you can go on and try and do unto me on what it is that you want, but in the end, I will never relinquish the whereabouts of that configuration cube that I know of, and there is nothing that you can go and try to threaten me with that will change the outcome between us, demon." "Oh, really? Is that so?" Guardian Raijin went on to then lean forward by responding. "And how exactly are they supposed to come and stop me when I had already made it my mission to do away with them for this exact reason? For I had only hoped that you would go as far as to recognize the futility of your defiance, but you have chosen to stand in my way instead, and for that, you hereby leave me with no other choice than to break you." Raijin continues upon being shown choking Zalama further. "As one way or another, whether you like for it to happen or not, I will have those configuration cubes by the time this entire ordeal is through, and if it means that I will need to go and search every corner of every universe to go and find them, then so be it. But before I do, I will go on to ensure that you are to pay for your insolence towards me personally," as it was only right then and there now, during that moment, where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Story of the Dark Masters, the official Murno sequel, manga chapter number 27 special, then comes to a close.
Well, actually, I'll go ahead and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something very important with our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing, because not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the manga content that you see and gain access to tons of exclusives along the way that range from a variety of different things, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link everything down within the description box below and pinned comment section as well. Now, I will go as far as to say that even though this entire situation has become far worse than anyone could possibly imagine for it to be, whilst I'm not sure on what those demons are going to go and do to Zalama down there after having him entrust that I go and keep this configuration cube safe and away from Raijin's possession, since we are all out of time, and with Raijin being stronger now than we ever could have imagined for him to be after being released from his prison, you do not want to go and miss out on what is about to happen coming up next. So we hope that you all enjoyed today's video, and before you leave, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button on your way out, as well as also subscribing to UnrealEntGaming's channel for tons of new Dragon Ball content. So with that, we thank you all so much for watching, as we'll be seeing you all again for the next one.
Hello! Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to UnrealEntGaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi!
Silent Cell, me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.